Good morning. It's dark outside. For some reason I had to leave earlier on a walk today. But there's a beauty to being up before the sun is. When it's dark, we can feel vulnerable. All of our regular benchmarks and touchstones are harder to see. And sometimes that means that if we need to go forth in the dark, that we need to trust our other senses. We can't just rely on the way things usually work. Boy, if that isn't a lesson we've learned during COVID, right? We can't rely on the way things usually work. But in the dark, that means that perhaps we have our sense of hearing that's a little more alert, or our sense of touch. If we're making our way through a house or through a room. One of the sisters that I was in the community with years ago, her father was blind, and she said that it stirred all kinds of new opportunities for her. When they were young, they used to play pranks on him, and it doesn't sound so nice, but they'd move the furniture around. He had a great sense of humor, and he almost expected it, but the familiar ways of navigating become difficult. If we're leaning on our other senses, and we're paying attention to the way that God leads us, or the divine leads us in ways that are unfamiliar, we realize there needs to be a new receptivity. If I'm going out in the dark, or darker times, and I can't rely on my vision, I need to be much more receptive to the way my other senses are working. That means that my heart is open, wide open, in ways that perhaps it wouldn't be if I could navigate confidently in the way I usually do. During this time of isolation, many of us have become defensive. Gosh, no judgment there. I'm just saying it's an observation that we feel like we have to be extra vigilant, or defending our choices, or why you wear a mask or why you don't wear a mask. And we live kind of with our dukes up right now. Well, a defensive posture doesn't lend itself to receptivity, does it? If I've got my dukes up, I've got my guard up, and I'm not open to a whole lot. I'm in protective mode. But what the divine wants to share with us during these times that are absolutely extraordinary is that there are other ways to operate. And if nothing else, the divine wants to remind us that we have a divine compass that's watching out for us. God, in all God's love and mercy for us, acknowledging the difficult situations that we find ourselves in, wants to be there as a touchstone, wants to be there as a guide, as a compass. But the only way we can pick up or connect with that compass is to acknowledge the fact that we need one, and that means we're open and receptive. So today, pay attention to where your defenses are. Where are you not receptive? And then pay attention to where you might possibly change that. And how can the divine be part of a new openness in you, whether it's to people, to circumstances, or even to yourself? Have you built up a wall against yourself? Are you judging yourself? Take a deep breath. We're still in this together. A receptive, open heart will get us a lot further than one that we live with our dukes up.